I think with Simpson, what I'll be curious about is this call up here to stay, or if it's just a temporary item until some of the injured players come back. And maybe
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulysses Zambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's Game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early WRA days of Wade Boggs and Carl Crawford,
we are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
And it is the 2025 season for the Rays. It's already begun. So go ahead, grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, and subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins.
We also want to remind you that we thank you for making Locked On first listen every day. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, Ulysses, we didn't have much of a chance to get into this on Monday's episode, but figured we would spotlight it with the Rays being off Monday going into Tuesday. Chandler Simpson getting that promotion in time for Saturday's game, and he was part of the spark for Saturday's game. But were you surprised that he got the call this early in the season, or it was a line of thinking, well, the Rays have many injuries as it is already? Like, how many more outfielders can go down for you between Johnny DeLuca, Richie Palacios, and Josh Lowe? Coco Montez certainly isn't the answer long-term. And I know Chandler Simpson hasn't had much action at AAA, but in his limited action in AAA, he showed that, yeah, I got this, no problem. Just like single A and double A, it was same old Chandler Simpson. And maybe an argument could be made that, hey, we need to shake things up a little bit, and Chandler Simpson could be part of the answer to do that in the early portion of this season.
I was surprised that it came this early, but it also alerted me to, and I think should alert to other Rays fans, that the front office, cash, coaches understand that this offense needs help.
Yes.
And they're trying to attack it early rather than keep this festering and this frustration, building up within that clubhouse, maybe kind of like what it did last year. Like last year, we now have heard how there was tension in the clubhouse in the beginning, with the first road trip and the Milwaukee series and Texas, like how that didn't really create a good feeling within the guys. So this time around, they're seeing, hey, we have guys struggling that should be carrying this offense, i.e. Yandy, i.e. Brendan Lau.
Mm-hmm.
And you're having terrific contributions from guys like Jonathan Aranda and Cameron Meisner and Jake Mangum, but it's not enough. You need something else. And for them to say, you know what, we have a guy who has such a unique skill set that he can provide something that none of these guys can, and that could create havoc, while other guys that need maybe more fastballs down the middle, this guy, Chandler Simpson, can provide that for the guys at the dish because they know his speed. Oh, and if they don't know about Chandler Simpson's speed, guess what? They're going to know about it very, very quickly. He already showed what he could do with a grounder to first against the Yankees on Sunday. It actually ended up, breaking up that no-hitter. post 3 innings of it being actually grounded to first. But he showed that now in the major leagues how that speed is for real. That is a truth. It's going to be very interesting how they manage him either in the leadoff position or in the ninth hole. But it just gave me a big announcement, and I think it serves as an announcement to all of Rays fandom that Cashco and the front office looked at this offense and said, no, it needs something. And the answer for right now, mid-April, is Chandler Simpson.
You made a point that was interesting. The question on whether to bat Chandler Simpson leadoff or put him down the order, first, ninth, somewhere in between that. His MLB debut, he was the leadoff hitter. That is something that is very rare, I think, for any organization, but particularly the Rays. He was actually the first player in team history to debut while hitting leadoff and the fourth to do so in center, joining Rocco Baldelli, Joey Gathright, and Elijah Dukes. Let's hope he has longer and more successful careers than those other three individuals. Rocco Baldelli was a great player. It just was cut short due to a weird health and, well, really a weird health concern that kicked him out of the game sooner than expected. I think he could have been on the Mount Rushmore of Rays players if not for what he had going on with his body there. But my thought was, I guess a couple things was, Chandler Simpson, it makes sense that, going forward, he could be a leadoff hitter because of the profile, and he has a patient approach. He can see a lot of pitches, and, the other players lower in the lineup or after him can, see what he's working with. But then again, part of me says that maybe you want, at least for those first couple games, you want some other guys to lead off, or you want to put him lower in the order so those more experienced ball players can, chat in his ear, hey, here's what I'm seeing, here's what to watch out for, and to maybe make him a little bit more comfortable than as opposed to, hey, you're getting your first action and you're starting it off for us, so don't screw it up, basically.
Yeah, no, you can go either way, right? I think they chose to go the Joe Madden route for the first game, and then your route the second game, just putting him lower in the lineup. But I think that's a very cool way that you can utilize him, because if the lower half of the lineup is not producing, to have a guy like that to turn the lineup over, and now you have your big boys coming up and he's going to be creating havoc on the bases, that could give them even better pitches to see. That would be very interesting.
If he gets on, he is so much of a distraction for
100%.
The pitcher, the catcher, the defense in general, the opposing defense in general, that, it might allow Yandy to lean into one, to get one. It might allow some of those other guys to really capitalize and take advantage of. It's just a cool moment. It just kind of happened a little bit by surprise, because that was the lingering question of, hey, when's he going to get called up? And I think, many people would have expected a little bit later on than it happened. But then again, the injury list is getting long, and I don't know if, even though it was a short stint, what more Chandler Simpson could prove at the minor league level. Now, he had quite the introduction into the majors because, again, it's a different ball game. Literally, you're seeing the fastballs are harder, the sliders spin a little bit more. You're seeing a lot variety of pitches, and you could just tell, I think, for those first couple of at bats, that it was like, okay, it's going to take him a little bit of time to settle in. And that's okay. I mean, that's what you're going to deal with rookies, but there's going to be an adjustment period in a learning curve based on what other pitchers are going to be dishing to him, so to speak.
Yes.
So, all right. We have more to discuss on this. Plus, we're going to preview the upcoming series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. But first, the NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Here's what I love. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has just so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. You want to take advantage of this. Head over to fanduel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Such a good offer. I'm going to repeat it again. Head over to fanduel.com and claim that $250 in bonus bets today. All right. So as we mentioned, Chandler Simpson in his major league debut on Saturday, he grounded out twice, flied out, struck out, and then he delivered his first clutch hit, or his first hit in a clutch situation, a ground rule double to left that scored the first run of the Rays' 4-run ninth inning comeback that set them up for good on that evening. And again, we know that Chandler Simpson is not going to provide any pop whatsoever. Don't expect him to hit a home run this season, but it was nice for him to drive a ball because I don't think that most Rays fans were expecting him to drive the ball like he did on Saturday. In fact, that was kind of a theme for the left-handed hitters for the Rays in that game. Not to go back to it too much, but they really did a good job of hitting the ball the other way. But I think with Simpson, what I'll be curious about is this call up here to stay, or if it's just a temporary item until some of the injured players come back. And maybe some of it's all up to him. It's all up to what he produces and what he shows. But if he is doing everything that we expected him to do with the bat, with the defense, with his legs, he's helping the team win games. He's getting on base. He's making the opposing defense hurt and think and struggle a little bit. You know, what do you do if you're Kevin Cash and company? You might just have to pilfer out a role for him if he's really lighting the world on fire.
I think Chandler Simpson right now is on the Meisner and Mangum situation where, hey, right now it's up to you.
Yeah,
you play well, you're going to stay up, because this team, to be quite frank here, if Johnny DeLuca comes back healthy, are you expecting the offense to turn around because Johnny DeLuca is no longer hurt?
No. I think you might get a little bit of boost defensively just because Chandler Simpson is still a little bit of a novice at the center field position. But again, with his athletic profile, I think even if he has a bad read, he can still track something down and make a sliding catch or a diving catch or a catch at the wall, whatever it may be. I mean, we saw some of that in spring training. We've seen some of that in minor league so far.
So then it's not pitching that's the problem for the Rays this season. It's not defense. It's the hitting. So right now, Simpson and Meisner and Mangum, they're there because of unfortunate injuries to Palacios, to Josh Lowe, to DeLuca. But hey, guess what? The only guy there in that list that would clearly be a guy that the Rays would be happy to get would be Josh Lowe. Right. I'm not saying that they're not going to be happy that DeLuca or Richie Palacios get healthy. Of course they are.
Yeah.
But Josh Lowe is a guy that you are counting on to be one of the big guys in this lineup. So when he comes back, obviously you have to make room for him. But if Meisner, Mangum, and Chandler Simpson just take it upon themselves to succeed, and they're able to do so, my goodness, I don't see how you say, well, sorry, Chandler, I know you're hitting 300 and got 12 bags.
Yeah.
And Meisner, you're doing your thing, and Mangum as well. But Palacios is here, so we need to. Or DeLuca is here, so we need to. That's tough because it's not like DeLuca and Palacios are well-established major leaguers either, right?
Yeah, it's not like, we got to create a spot for him like Josh Lowe is. So, exactly. I think it really is up to those three. And if there's a good silver lining out of it, it is that Meisner and Mangum are doing so well. So maybe they can impart some confidence and wisdom to Chandler Simpson of, hey, here's how you can make an impact early on, right from the jump. And hey, just you've been doing this your whole life. It's just on a bigger stage. So I think the fact that they're having success maybe helps, Chandler Simpson hopefully adjust a little bit quicker, as opposed to if they were struggling, they, hey, I can't really tell you anything. I don't know what I'm doing. But the fact that they are doing very well right now, I think that they can have that communication and lift each other up. So I think it's kind of more of one of those, interpersonal relationships, and just you see somebody else, you see your counterpart that was just in the minors not too long ago doing it. Hey, I can do it too, sort of a thing. And you hope that carries it over and means something for those guys. And I'll tell you what, between those three, you got a lot of scrappy ball players, and that's what you need. You need guys that can hit the ball at the park. You need guys that can get on base, but you also need guys that have some gamer in them and that are going to frustrate other teams. And I think those guys, Mangum and Simpson especially, will be able to do that over these next couple of weeks, hopefully.
It's that fire within them that sometimes gets a little bit quiet when you are a 12-year vet and maybe the body is not as agile as it once was.
Right.
And, that those things tend to happen because, hashtag you're a human. But that fire, it's quite bright for Meisner, Mangum, and Simpson. So hopefully, man, you can just squeeze everything you can from them whilst they're being given the opportunity. I just like Richie Palacios did last year. I mean, you can definitely see Richie's fire and DeLucas as well. Hey, trade deadline is done. I actually have a spot, and I'm going to be playing regularly most days. Johnny DeLuca did very well August and September of last year too.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he didn't get up to the hot start that we wanted this year, but he did show in 2 months worth of the 2024 season that hey, he could be a guy that you wouldn't be, upset at coming to the plate, which as a Rays fan, you've had many of those in the past where, it's going to be an out. With Meisner, Mangum, I think they're a little bit more established, obviously, than Simpson. But I think on the opposite side, Simpson is such a different player, Kev,
Right.
that I don't think he has to be as successful as Meisner and Mangum. And what I mean by that, the numbers might not be as good as Meisner and Mangum. And if there's a decision between the three of them, Simpson might still beat the other two because of what he brings. It might not be up to the numbers. It just might be like, well, we can do so much more with Chandler, even if the numbers are not, even if the OPS is lower than Mangum and Meisner, even if the average is lower than Mangum and Meisner, you can be a little bit more flexible, and he gives you a little bit more options late in games than with the other two.
Right. And, beyond the speed, which I think, I don't know if enough people talk about this, but there are certain players on the Rays who have a tendency to hit into double plays. That will never be a concern with Chandler Simpson.
No.
So, I think there was a situation where he grounded a ball, and the infielder, whether it's the second baseman or the shortstop, there's not even a point of turning and looking at first because he's going to be there. And fine, if it's a force out, you can live with that because Chandler Simpson's on first base, and very quickly he could be on second or third and then maybe home from there. So I think that is, one of the beyond the box score metrics that we'll have to monitor is, even if the guy in front of him gets out at second or third, you still got Simpson who can make things happen when he's, at first.
And what about, let's make it very specific in a scenario. You're losing by 2 runs or 1 run. They play with the infield in because Chandler Simpson is coming in. They want to turn the double play, or they want to avoid the runner going home. His innate speed makes those guys with the gloves way more nervous than they would if it was somebody else. So that you don't, like you said, it doesn't show up on the box score. That's right here, man. That's why ultimately this game, it's so great. You won't be able to replicate it using your Excel, spreadsheets and your Savant. Like at the end of the day, it's a human versus a human, and that knowledge of, man, we have to be perfect with this throw. I cannot delete that. It just gives you that extra thought that if not there, you do it routine. But now that thought is there, maybe, just maybe, you get a little bit more nervous than you would.
Yeah. And what I like too is the fact that there was a situation, 2 strikes, he chokes up on the back. I mean, that is such a, old school. I like that old school nature about him. Quick to the ball.
Yes.
Obviously doesn't have a lengthy swing, just quick hacks at it. Classic slap hitter. And sometimes you need that mix. When we're so tired of the 3 true outcomes, and being able to insert a wild card like him, an X factor like him, makes so much of a difference. And, throughout the minor leagues, 95% of the pitches that were inside the zone, he made contact with. So he's got that hand-eye coordination and the bat control and the contact ability. Is it going to go very far? Maybe not, but that doesn't matter because he can find a way to get on base and do other different things as well with that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, on the on base, he has a minors career on base percentage career of 389.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to take a hit because AAA pitching is not Major League Baseball pitching.
Right.
So
as we mentioned, again, he looked a little bit befuddled on Saturday. You might have one pitcher that's throwing 5 different pitches and 4 of them are really good. So there's going to be, again, a little bit of an adjustment there. But I think with scouting reports and working with Matola, talking to the other guys on the team, he will be able to find his lane, so to speak.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see when he finds his lane, or as he finds his lane, rather, how they're going to utilize him. Leading off and just become a chaotic presence to start the game and hopefully get something across, or feed the top of the lineup when you're putting him 8th or 9th, gets on base. Okay, now you have something to cook with Yandy, Jr., Aranda, and all of them.
Right. All right. We have some listener comments on people's expectations for Chandler Simpson at the big leagues with the Rays. The Great Al Bushman says stolen bases and more stolen bases. Well, he's already got 1 to his name, which is good. Cooper George says we just need him to play his own game, slap the ball around, see a bunch of pitches, and most importantly, run the bases hard. Touching bases says 1080. Just play him every day to see where it goes. There's nothing to lose. Roman Rodriguez says solid contributor, 260 with 35 stolen bases and at least 40 runs scored. I would take that in a heartbeat for this season. BG68 says we'll be up here for a few more weeks hitting 200 and we'll be sent back down to Durham for the rest of the year. Okay, Debbie Downer. Tampa Bay guy says scrappy, fun, ray of hope. And then Tampa Bay sports fan says, like I expected, a rookie. Okay, there we go.
Mixed bag of
now.
Comments.
Yeah. All right. Real quickly, the Rays go over to face the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series, Tuesday through Thursday. The pitching matchups are Zach Littell going up against Brandon Pfaadt, Taj Bradley going up against Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Drew Rasmussen going up against Corbin Burns. The Diamondbacks are doing really well this year, not as well as the Dodgers, but nobody can do that in the NL West. They've won a lot of games. They're, winning 6 of 8, 7-9. They're doing, what I think many people expected them to do this year. Now the question is, how will the Rays do? Can they win the series or take one? You look at these pitching matchups and it could really, frankly, be a toss-up. They
the way haven't played well against teams over 500, man. They really haven't, and they lost another series, a 3 out of 4. So, and like you said on Monday's episode, it very well could have been a sweep, a 4-game sweep. So you just have to hope. Okay, well, if you're not home warriors, if you're not going to defend your home, are you going to be road warriors? Are you going to be the guys that, we just show up and win some ball games? Didn't happen in Texas. This is an opportunity with this road trip. Arizona and then San Diego, correct?
Correct.
So, hey, West Coast, hopefully you were incredibly comfortable in the charter, like you said. You got some nice sleep, and you go get them in Arizona. That last game, Rasmussen Burns, is going to be must-watch TV.
Yes, that should be a fun matchup. You might want to take the under with that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're the Rays, I think it's a situation of circle Corbin Carroll's name in the lineup card. Don't let Corbin Carroll beat you, because
Yeah.
he is tearing it up so far this year. But yes, we will see what happens late night with the Rays. So be prepared for that. You might be staying up till midnight or later if you want to check out a couple of these games here. So there we go. In the meantime, we hope you all have a wonderful day, and we thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen today. For your second listen, check out all new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.